Hello and welcome to my podcast. My name is Kalu Aja, and this is The Way I See It, my podcast where I'm talking money, the economy, and of course, personal finance. This week, I'm going to talk about Jean Bendel Bokassa. He was the president of the Central African Republic a long time ago. Now, the Central African Republic is or was one of the poorest nations on earth. Even till today, it's still poor. Its GDP is less than 3 billion, even as of today. Now, Bokassa became the head of state via a coup. So he came in through the gun, right? And according to the IMF, he started off pretty well. So the IMF had this paper titled Political Instability and Growth, the Central African Republic. It was by Gaharu and Martial, written in 2004. And it says in that paper that from 1965 to 1977, the per capita real GDP of the Central African Republic grew as Operation Bokassa launched a program to increase the supply of food, improve the yield of export crops, and diversify the economy. So he started off pretty well. So what happened? This economic success was short-lived, right? In 1977, Bokassa proclaimed himself the Emperor One of the Central African Republic. And if you look at this chart I put up on the article I written, you can see the GDP per capita just dropped like a stone from 1977 till 2002. It just fell. I mean, it goes up and down, but it just fell. So what exactly happened? It's easy to see what happened. The Central African Republic, or Bokassa, took the minimal export revenues and funded this egregious display of destruction of national wealth. He essentially spent on importing luxurious products that were consumed by very, very few people in CAR. The decrease of this monarchy coincided, right, with a fall in exports as a percentage of GDP from 25% to 22% from 1977 to 79. So he made money, but he spent his money on importing luxuries that were consumed by very, very, very few people. Let me give you some numbers. The entire coronation cost about $22 million. In today's money, that's about $100 million in today's money. Just for context, right, the entire GDP of the CAR in 1977 was about 507 million. So they spent more than a third of that just on one event, just the coronation in France. The bulk of what they used for the coronation was imported mainly from France and consumed only in Bangui, i.e. the capital. Let me give you again, this part I just found fascinating. The throne for the coronation was made in France. It weighs 2 tons. It cost $2.5 million. The guy's tunic, that's Bokassa's tunic, his shoes, his red cap and all that, it cost $145,000. Lavin, the designer, made the emperor's dress for some $2,000. Bokassa's crown, his scepters and all that, $5 million. They imported 24,000 bottles of Moet and Chandon. They imported 60 new Mercedes-Benz. Even the music guys was imported. They brought in guys from Vietnam, an all-lady band from Vietnam, and a 120-man French orchestra. They had 6-foot cakes that revealed live pictures, and of course, there was golden plates to serve all this food on. So the repair work in Bangui was done by the Frenchmen who were imported. The French guys even guarded the stadium where all this happened. So you see, the story is this, right? Imports, consumption was spent in only really two places, the coronation venue and the palace. So how many guys, the spending didn't even go out to the people of the Central African Republic. It went to France, even though it was spent in the CAR. And the French loved it. The president of France was called then Valéry Giscard d'Estaing. Yeah, he supported this waste. He called it a beautiful thing. He marveled that the princess just looked lovely and regal and all that. Why won't he like it? The money was being spent in France to import all these folks to a poor country in Central Africa, and they wasted all that money. But what the CR did back then is what the Nigerian politicians are doing today. So just like Bokassa, you have Nigerian politicians also living like emperors, importing 50 million naira massage chairs, bulletproof Lexus SUVs, perfumes, all the stuff. We're living like modern day emperors because we have quote unquote oil money, right? But let's go to the economics of it. The problem is not the imports per se, but that is everything was imported into Central African Republic, then consumed by only a very, very tiny minority. Nothing left the small capital or the small state house where this was consumed. The food was brought in, eaten in the capital. The horses were brought to pull the carriages. That was it. There was no use for the horses anymore. There was not even an infrastructure bump from the spending. The large indoor sports stadium where the convention was held, there was no air conditioning. So it's not like they built new roads in Bangui and all that. No, it was just consume, spend, vanity of being an emperor. The country didn't recover for many, many years. Many years. But the lesson is this, the key lesson is this. We're not talking about a coronation, but the key lesson is this. If you take scarce foreign currency and you import everything, including the labor, into your country, then only a few of you in that country consume all those imports, right? Your economy is going to fail for generations, just like we've seen that happen to the CAR. So that's a lesson for us, right? So we don't want Bokassas, we don't want the importation and consumption of the wealth of an entire nation by simply a very, very small minority of folks. It will kill the economy, it will put you in a debt trap, and you become a laughing stock, unable to do anything serious on earth because, of course, you have an emperor. Emperors don't borrow from the IMF, right? And that's really where we might go to if we do not stop. When I mean we in Nigeria stop, reform the economy and the structure of the economy, stop the wasteful spending, and start to invest in human capital development goals, water, food, education, good living, and all that. And also try to build infrastructure that would then allow the businesses, small businesses, create jobs that can then fund and boost and support an economy. We can do it. It's not hard. We're not against imports, but you have got to have net exports. We're not against consumption, but everyone has got to consume and feel a part of the wealth that's used in the economy. Not just a few in the capitals, in the state capitals, and on all that. That's got to change. All right, folks, thanks for hanging out with me. Again, my name is Kalu, and thanks for listening to my podcast, The Way I See It. It's available anywhere you get podcasts. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.